So we are set here to talk about a problem that is one of the most important problems that the human being is facing today, is living everyday life with different form of chronic illnesses. Makes the life so difficult. Most of us know already from our own daily experience. The WHO numbers already tell us that more than 50% of the world today lives with one or more chronic diseases. More than 60% of all deaths are related to one or other form of chronic disease. We have buy-ins from all the sectors. The healthcare facilities and insurance providers spent more than $6.2 trillion on chronic diseases worldwide. In US, more than 86% of the annual $2.7 trillion budget is spent on direct treatment of the chronic illnesses. From the employer's perspective, it's hundreds of billions in direct expenditures, on top of that hundreds of billions in lost productivity. It's scaling at a 3x factor compared to the rise in employer cost for the salaries and other things. So we know how important the problem is. From an individual's perspective, 99% of the chronic disease management is on the hands of individuals and their loved ones and the close families. We want to address this burden. We want to reduce this burden with the advent of technology. We are living today with the best technologies around on the domains of IoT, AI, hardware, software, every single thing that we can talk about. We see that there is a forecast from a $5 billion to $12 billion scale up in the wearable market opportunity by 2021. We want to avail most of this opportunity towards solving this major problem. Who we are. Our vision is to come up with world's first ever completely non-invasive mass market solution that addresses the deaths and emergencies coming from major chronic diseases such as heart diseases, respiratory diseases, diabetes, hypertension, etc. And how we do that? We try to solve the problem with three simple components. The component number one is the watch, where we compute simple vital sign parameters and glucose level and stuff like that from a single optical signal in a continuous basis. And component number two is our app, which serves as the main user interface. It should be so simple that people of any age can use it in a very effective, simple way. And we take all this data, these parameters that we continuously compute, we eventually take all this data to the cloud, where we analyze this data for an individual, also the context in which that individual lives in. By context, I mean his or her age, sex, ethnicity, the disease condition, based on which we create buckets. And every individual falls in a particular bucket. We analyze that person's health in the context of his or her own bucket. And that's how we generate very timely clinical insights and push it back to the app. Also, this has another component, which is it creates a community so that any user can add any individual like the loved ones or their doctors in their community, and they get the same severe level of alerts at the same time as the individual himself or herself is getting. So we focus on four major chronic disease sectors: heart, respiratory disease, diabetes, and hypertension. And we have found out a simple way to do this. For most of these chronic diseases, there are only 5 or 6 simple set of vital parameters and physiological parameters that if you can effectively compute and track in a very high frequency in a continuous basis, then you can use these parameters to come up with the scores and grades for the end diseases. For example, let me pick an example. Let's say for diabetes, the parameter, the grade that matters most to individuals suffering from diabetes is HbA1c. We can get to HbA1c from a continuous glucose plot. that we can come up with this with our system. If we talk about COPD or asthma, in the clinical settings, doctors use a parameter called FEV1 by FVC, which is the forced expiratory volume in 1 second by the forced vital capacity. That parameter has a very close relationship with the SpO2, the oxygen saturation level, and the respiration rate. So we can mimic that parameter using these two basic parameters. So end of the day, we only measure heart rate, respiration rate, oxygen saturation, blood pressure and blood glucose, and heart rate variability. Through that, we try to get a scoring and tracking of diseases like congestive heart failure, atrial fibrillation, COPD, diabetes, hypertension, etc. Can I continue and take the questions later? Thank you. Now, to solve such a complex problem, we also need a very adequate, highly skilled team. We have formed a world-class team here that consists of experts from all domains. We have doctor in our team who is a clinical faculty of UCRY neurology department, through whom we are scheduling a clinical trial to be started in a month. We also have a group of doctors that are part of our team from India. And why India? Because we came to know that India, because of its large population, offers a very high diversity of different disease conditions and different other demographic issues. So because of that, India serves as one of the major sites for drug trials and this type of investigational device trials. So we have teamed up with the top level clinical trial administrator, with whom we are working with a team of doctors in Calcutta who consist of cardiologists, endocrinologists, and pulmonologists, to do a clinical trial which will be starting from December 1. So along with that, I want to mention one point here. Because it's a doctors forum, we always welcome new contacts, like Dr. Chettipalli and I got to know each other. We welcome all of you to connect to us and help us in moving it forward. We need a lot of data. Never ever for this problem we can say that our data is sufficient, because our population is the world's population that we want to work on. So we always welcome anybody who, as a doctor, who can help us in getting more data and refining our objectives. On the technology side, we have an academician in University of Maryland who is a sensor and AI scientist, my close friend from my PhD days at UMass. We have semiconductor technology experts with an experience collective experience more than 50, 60 years. And we have filed more than 100 patents, 200 papers. And our knowledge base is all the way across the hardware and software stack. So we are well equipped to solve this problem in the right way. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the go-to-market opportunities that we are exploring right now. We are exploring both enterprise as well as a consumer route. In enterprise route, we are trying to team up with healthcare providers, insurance providers, and medical providers. And on the B2B2C, which is a consumer route, which is basically doing business through a consumer player, we would like to team up with leading consumer market players. And I would talk a little bit about those. In the B2B partnership proposal with hospitals, what we are talking about is that we provide this solution, and hospital already has a big patient base. Many of these patients are ideal candidates for a system like this. So the hospital should partner with us and roll it out, and we basically share a revenue model which is subscription-based, monthly subscription-based, and it basically offers the doctors of the hospital a very a high benefit of knowing all the data points that you don't know today, and then basically you can go from there. Similarly, in the B2B2C route, we can license out our IPs, and then some mass market player can mass manufacture it, and we can share a revenue out of that. This is our product development roadmap. We are right now here. We are about, we have been manufacturing 100 units through a vendor in China, and we are already pre-seed funded, about 200K, which is covering 2 clinical trials, one in US and one in India, with the goal of filing the FDA application for 510K class 2, and in India, the CE application. We are looking for a 500K raise round from investors, through which we will create about 10,000 units, and we will do a Kickstarter campaign with that to create a first revenue. And with that, we will be ready with the Series A. So we will not need any more money to prove the prototype or prove the system. We just need the money to scale up. So our current tractions is that our clinical trial partners are identified in US and China. We signed MOU agreement with Alpha Partners in India. We identified vendors in China through which we are manufacturing a pretty good looking device. We are also doing branding activity, and we are set to raise a 500K investment round. That I would like to conclude. Thank you very much. And I would like to invite my team member, Frank, to start the demo. And let me talk about a little bit about the demo. You see that, Frank, come in. You see, this is an ugly looking prototype, which was our first prototype that we developed, and we are moving away from here. We are making it looking like more like a commercial system, which will be coming in a month. But this one looks pretty ugly. Right now, this doesn't compute any of the parameters here. It transfers the raw photoplethysmograph data into the app all the way to the cloud. And cloud computes all the results, sends it back to the system. So it takes about 3 minutes. In the production, you press a button there, you want your instant numbers, it will come back in 30 seconds. So I would like Frank to start that demo while I take the opportunity to answer your questions. Yes, please, ma'am.
Just wanted to ask you said you do diabetes, blood glucose level, and
Sure.
hypertension. How, you have sensors in that watch to measure
Yes. So we use only a single sensor, which is a photoplethysmograph sensor. Oh, I'm sorry. The question here is that we are saying that we measure blood pressure, blood glucose, etc. Does the watch has a sensor that does that? Answer is we use only a single optical signal, which is called photoplethysmograph, or PPG in short. PPG has been in use in clinical settings for many decades. The common use of that signal is the oxygen saturation level and heart rate that you do it in the clinics, outpatient and as well as ICUs today. We have extended the capability of that signal further with the aid of some complex algorithmic techniques that we can get other parameters such as respiration rate, blood pressure, and blood glucose.
Do you have you done these experiments? Do you have data?
Yes, of course. We did a community trial with about 30 friends and family people so far. As I said, that our main trial, 2 trials have been starting in a month. One in Calcutta, India, and the other one in UC Irvine. But the trial that we did with our friends and family, we saw that our heart rate, respiration rate, and SpO2 are within 5% accuracy of the gold standard home setting devices. When it comes to blood pressure and blood glucose, then we are off by 15-20%. And we know exactly what we need. We need a lot of data and machine learning approaches to get to the 90 plus 95% accuracy point.
So are you getting data from somewhere, or are you just using whoever's going to use the device is going to?
No, we will be using this device in the clinical settings during the clinical trials, formally formulated clinical trials, where we'll be getting this signal and the corresponding gold standard numbers, and then we'll be doing calibration to get it there. Thank you very much. Any other question? Yes, please.
What is the COGS and the price for the wearable?
So the question is, what would be the custom off-the-shelf price of this wearable would be? We haven't defined a price yet, but I can tell you safely it will be somewhere between $249 to $299. Any other question? Yes, please.
So once you have all of this data and you're collecting it individually for the patient, what is going to be the outcome of the collection of all that data for both the individual patient and also for the greater community of everybody that's using this device?
Very good question. The question is that what is the overall final outcome of this data collection and this system? That is it going to be good for only an individual or it would be good for a community? So first of all, it has to work for an individual. And that's why we have very carefully designed clinical trials that will calibrate our numbers for an individual to get to good 90-95% mark for all the parameters. Then second thing is, you as an individual fall as part of a bucket, which is basically the people of your age, sex, ethnicity, disease condition, similarity. When we get there, then we use your data in conjunction with others like yours data to predict future. What can happen in future for you, knowing what has happened in the past.
Last question. Time's up.
So I will take the last question and then I'll show what the demo result is.
I guess there are no more questions.
Okay, so Frank can come in, and is it possible to zoom into the app screen? So it shows there are 6 tiles here: the oxygen saturation, respiration rate, heart rate, blood pressure, blood glucose, and steps. So the numbers for him came out as 100% for SpO2, 16 for respiration rate, 79 for heart rate, blood pressure was 123/87, and his HbA1c number is 5, which is computed based on an average, and 103 is his glucose. So he's a pretty healthy individual. We can give it to that.
You can pass it around. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cherrypalli. Again, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.